Well, croeso cynnes iawn, a very warm welcome to all of you. We're here to celebrate 90 years of women in engineering, the sciences and the built environment. And frankly, where better to do it than here in this iconic building of the Welsh Assembly Government. It's all about inspiring, innovating and debating. We have a wonderful panel and very inspiring women all around us. And on that note, I'm very happy to hand over to Joyce Watson, AM for Mid and West Wales.
Hoffwn dechrau wrth ddiolch Cymdeithiais Perianneg I fenywod am y gwahoddiad I siarad heddiw yn y digwyddiad pwysig yma. Mae'n bleser mawr I groesawu chi gyd i'r cynulliad. I would like to start by thanking the Women's Engineering Society for inviting me to speak at this very important event today. It is with very great pleasure that I'm able to host this event in the Assembly alongside the many leaders across the construction and engineering industry in this room today.
I'm delighted to introduce Dr. Jan Peters, the President of the Women's Engineering Society.
Inspiring women are shaping the world, and Jean's just one example. One of my personal inspirations is an electronics engineer, and this ties into UNESCO. How are we going to help educate the women of the world, the future generations? How are we going to get to a point where we really are engineering the future? How are we going to tackle those shortages that the UNESCO report talks about? We need to connect and engage and inspire people from developing countries.
I'm delighted to hand you over now to the Chair of ICE Wales Cymru, Sally Sudwell.
Actually, two things that I've been involved with since I've taken up the position of Chair. It's given me the great chance to do all sorts of different things with young people. It's one of my aims and objectives for the years to raise the profile of civil engineering with young people. And we've got a project that we run jointly. We started with the IC, but now Construction Skills actually look after it and take it out to junior schools, and there's great demand for this project. And the youngsters, junior school age children, get to it.
At the very end we have Tina Hatton-Evans, who's representing Women in Property. Tina is Regional Director with Faithful and Gould, part of the Atkins Group. And then we've just heard from Sally here. Well, Sally has 29 years postgraduate experience. She was her degree was civil engineering from Portsmouth and West Sussex County Council. She was the first woman engineer and the first working mum, to want to go part-time, and built a very interesting garage for Sheikh Tahoon in the Middle East, which I'm guessing was not just an up and down. It was something a bit more than that. We've got Wyn Pritchard here. Wyn has been in post since July 2005 as Construction Skills Wales Director, 3.5 years before that as a Wales Strategic Advisor. And then we've got, Joyce Watson, we've already heard of. Joyce, of course, represents Mid and West Wales. She has so many, she sits on so many committees, I'm just wondering how on earth she finds the time to do it. But, as they say, if you want something done, ask a busy person to do it. In this context, she's particularly interested in construction, and she has launched the Women in Construction campaign. She mentioned the website. Jan, we've heard from already. Well, again, a technical background founded on analytical chemistry and instrumentation. And she's just very passionate about what she does and spreading the word about women in engineering. I've had a wonderful time this afternoon already speaking to her, so she has a lot to say and has a huge range of experience in her field. And Lisa here is a very experienced marketer. In fact, she recently won Marketer of the Year. Congratulations again, Lisa, with the Chartered Institute of Marketing, full of ideas. I think the only downside, I think she rather thinks Lord Sugar is a hero. I think she can teach the apprentice a lot of things, actually, because she's got a lot to give, and she's already made a huge difference in terms of young people, the Youth Construction Trust, and distributing over 13.5 million, that's the Young People's Fund, to innovative youth projects in Wales. So you can see that we have a very interesting, diverse panel. And let's move on to our first question, which I believe is coming from Wayne Carter. And please, if you can't hear at the back, or you'd like a question repeated, do let us know. Wayne, there's the microphone for you.
Quite topical. With the lack of funding available to help regenerate and revitalise communities, what does the panel suggest for targeted activity for supporting such communities, and also what contribution can employer partners make?
We've done a lot of work with Penrith Partnership and other partners to link community groups to employers. But in relation to employers helping communities to regenerate and transform, I would like to see a lot more companies actually investing in their local area.
Thanks, Wayne. I think it's a very pertinent question given the current economic situation. I think it was something said by Wes. I think it's about community spirit here. I think it's how we tap into that. In terms of regeneration and revitalisation, there's some good work again. The Assembly has supported Regeneration Skills Collective, which some of you may know about, which is looking at regeneration skills, which covers a facet of engineering, construction and even community regeneration. I think the important thing to actually maximise the money, Wayne, which is the question you're really asking, is mapping the skills effectively, is looking at a project over 10 years and saying what are the skills needed, how we remove stereotypes in terms of giving females the opportunity to break into that, and making sure the employer partners know when that is there.
It's often the case that there are different pots of funding available, but not all companies know how to access it. What's the role of government in helping get the message out there in terms of funding for SMEs?
Yes, well, I thought that was coming my way. There is, so I'm advised, currently the Flexible Support for Business website, so I hope you've all written that down, and it provides a one-stop shop for businesses to access information on possible funding that could be available for their particular businesses.
I was just going to sort of observe really that I think in terms of what's already existing that could perhaps work a little bit better, and perhaps things such as, the business clubs, things like the enterprise boards and the like. Very often there's limited take-up with regard to sort of participation in these things, and there does seem to be a bit of a reticence to sort of like get out there and get on board. But very often these are a huge source of information because the people that you're talking to have actually done it or are in the process of doing it, and you get huge feedback in terms of what's actually worth pursuing.